Hello, everybody. This is our last session of Beyond the Basics. My name is Caroline Giraldo, and I'm so happy to be here with you. If you're watching this recording, I recommend that you take pen and paper because we're going to have an amazing session today. Well, these continuing education calls are a collaboration between several leaders. I want to thank Jody Rabinov, who's our upline, and Amy Huffman, but also my team. You can see here, I'll be sharing my screen for a moment here. So there are my parents. There's me, there's Lorena Silveira based in Israel, and Cindy Pius in Colombia as well. So we've been able to collaborate, and that's really the spirit of dōTERRA. It's a spirit of family, it's a spirit of learning together, and that's why we do what we do. So if you've missed any of these calls, then make sure, here we go, here's the complete list. We are in number 8. Oh my, how time passes. We're in Hormone Balance. For those who didn't catch our last week's lesson, was a special. It wasn't on this list. It was a special lesson just on the skin. And we had Spring Davison with us, an amazing expert. So today we're here back onto our schedule. And this is the whole list. If you've missed any of them, we have the recordings. So do speak to the person who invited you today. And we've been doing these classes live on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is at 7 p.m. UK and 9 p.m. Israel time. Now, if you are already a member of dōTERRA and you have friends who are curious about the essential oils, then please invite them to see one of our introductory classes on our YouTube channel called Caroline Giraldo, and they can watch that first introductory class because these are going just a bit beyond the basics. So make sure they see that introductory class first. Okay, receive a certificate. So make sure, especially this is the last call, we will have a bonus call probably in 2 weeks. And I won't reveal yet what the surprise subject will be, but it will be a bonus call. But remember, you can get your certificate of completion. You have to listen out for the 3 keywords, which I'll be giving today throughout the class. And we give 3 keywords in every lesson that we've done. So as soon as you complete a lesson, fill out the weekly form. We'll give you the links at the end of this class of where to do that. Once you complete all 8 topics, you will receive a certificate like this one, which is a wonderful thing to have and that you can show off to your friends as well. And here's your first word. Make sure you write it down. Your first word is balance. We're going to be talking about hormone balance. That's the first key word, balance. Right. So at the end of the presentation, we'll give you a slide that you can take a photo of, and we'll give you the links where you can download the handout for this class as well. Right, let's get into the subject. So hormone balance, well, it's a fact. Hormones get blamed for a lot of things. I'm 5 months pregnant, and my husband, when he was talking to a friend who asked him, what's it been like to have your wife pregnant? And he said, the first 3 months are like she was on her period every day. So I was surprised when I heard that afterward. Obviously, he didn't say it right in front of me, but hormones get blamed for a lot of our bad moods, our aggressive moments, even our sad days. Whether they deserve it or not, it is clear that hormones do play a significant role in many of our body's functions because hormones affect a wide range of physiological processes. So that's why it's so important to have them in balance. Now, let's start reflecting on your own hormonal health. Now, I want you to think on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being unwanted symptoms, 10 being out of control symptoms. Okay, how is your monthly cycles? How is your monthly cycles? How out of control is it? Now, here we have a list on the screen. PMS, heavy flow, cramping, hot flushes, night sweats, acne, breakouts on the skin. Or if you're in the peri or post-menopause phase, how are your symptoms? Think of it 1 to 10. What would be the number you would give it? Okay. Now, let's have a look at the female reproductive system. Let's do a bit of biology here. Let's understand what is happening in our bodies. Now, this includes the ovaries, right, that we have there. I don't have a pointer here, but you can see the two purple, kind of balloons. Those are our ovaries. Then you have the fallopian tubes. We have our uterus, the cervix, the external genitalia, and breasts are also part of the female reproductive system. And they work closely with other systems that we'll look at in today, which is the endocrine system. Now, ovaries secrete two different hormones, estrogen and progesterone, and we're going to study more on that. Why are they so important? They're crucial for fertility. And I get this question a lot, that women want to get pregnant, and what can they do? What can dōTERRA offer them? Well, there's a lot that we'll talk about today, so keep watching. Now, they also play a key role, these two hormones, in the emotional and physical health. So we know that nutrition and hydration will directly impact the production of these hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Now, let's look at the role of estrogen first, and what are estrogen's effects. Now, these are the two main steroidal hormones that affect women's health, and each of these have a wide scope of functions that extend far beyond our reproductive health. So as you can see here, estrogen builds up our uterine lining. So we want to make sure that our uterine is strong, so that when we get pregnant, that our baby has the lining, the protective lining. And now that I'm pregnant with my first child, I understand how important that is, because sometimes we can have ups and downs, trips, or, and we want to make sure that our baby is safe. So the uterine lining increases body fat, depression or headaches. They can be responsible for this as well. The levels of estrogen, they interfere with the thyroid hormone. How many women have thyroid problems? Well, here we have to pay attention to the level of estrogen. Increases blood clotting. It decreases libido. I think there's a missing D there. Impairs blood sugar control, increases the risk of endometrial cancer, and increases the risk of breast cancer. This is definitely something we cannot ignore. Now let's look at the role of progesterone. Now, the progesterone maintains the uterine lining. We were saying that estrogen helps to build it up, so they both have their own role. With estrogen, it maintains the uterine lining. It helps the use of fat for energy, so it plays a key role in our weight. It's an antidepressant. We definitely want to have good levels of progesterone. Facilitates thyroid hormone action. You're getting the gist here. One of them we don't want so much, the other one we do. It normalizes blood clotting, restores libido, regulates blood sugar control, protects from endometrial cancer, and probably prevention of breast cancer. So we see here that progesterone helps to regulate our mood. It protects against anxiety, depression, increases the production of GABA, which is our antidepressant constituent, and it is this neurotransmitter that even helps us to sleep. So as women age, their bodies naturally decrease the production of estrogen and progesterone. So this is important. Your age. We may be eating as healthy as we can, but as we age, we want to make sure that we are complementing our body with the production of the correct hormones, because they're so key for all these processes in our body. Now, let's understand how these work. So these two hormones exist in a delicate balance, and when they're thrown off, they can cause various health complications. So to help us better understand this balance, let's imagine our bodies as a playground, all right? Our bodies are a playground, and we have a shy kid on the playground. Which is the shy kid? The shy kid is the estrogen that's naturally produced by our body. Now, there are three types of estrogens. The first kind is the kind that we naturally produce, which is like one of these shy kids on the playground. And the next kind of estrogen are xenoestrogens, pronounced xenoestrogens, which come from, surprise, surprise, Teflon, plastics, preservatives, additives. So you get it. The junk that are known as hormone disruptors are xenoestrogens. And we can think of them like the bully on the playground. So we have cells floating around in our bodies. They have fingers or receptors, right? They're sticking out looking for that estrogen, but they don't care where the estrogen comes from, right? So there is some form of it binding to these receptor sites. So the naturally produced estrogen is not very strong. It's like that shy kid. And on the playground, we really want the estrogen to be binding onto the fingers, right? But here comes the xenoestrogen, the bully that's stronger than the natural estrogen, and it pushes the shy kid off the playground, right? And it takes over. So it binds to these fingers. And when these xenos are metabolized, we have a higher incidence of breast cancer. And these can often give that estrogen dominance in our test results. And keynote here, Candida can also produce false estrogen levels in test results. So what currently is happening in our body is a playground. We have a shy kid. He's been kicked out by the bully. And lucky for that shy kid, there is a hero on the playground. Let's see. The hero is phyto or plant-based estrogen. That is the hero, superwoman, phytoestrogen. Yes, phytoestrogens are softer than natural estrogen, yet they're more powerful than the xenoestrogen. In other words, phyto comes to the playground, protects the cells from the xenoestrogens, from the bully, right? They're trying to get to the receptor site. The phytoestrogen doesn't let it get there, and it protects the cells from the harmful effects of the xenoestrogens. So let's have a look now. Where do xenoestrogens come from? How do they get into our body? Well, dairy is a common way because, fortunately, nowadays, to increase the milk production of cows, they inject them with hormones, and those hormones get into our milk. Now, other things, or the grains, as it says here, that there's a diet rich in estrogen grains, which are loaded with hormones. Now, there are other hormone disruptors, cosmetics, plastics, beverages. What do you drink your water in? I always carry my stainless steel bottle. I try not to drink from plastic bottles. Refined sugars as well, processed foods, and much more. Now, we cover this in more detail in our class number 4, reducing toxins. So make sure that you have seen that. Now, when our bodies become overloaded with xenoestrogens, we can experience several of the symptoms we see here on the slide. Our fertility is compromised, menopause starts early, there are thyroid disorders, and cancer can develop. If you have any of these symptoms, then this is so important that your body can start getting less xenoestrogens, and we want to get phytoestrogens there. Now, how can we find out? There are estrogen tests, but they often miss the toxic estrogens. Now, according to Dr. Hill, who's the dōTERRA director of the medical department there, everyone has an estrogen dominance because of all the toxins we are exposed to daily. Now, the many testing procedures that exist to measure hormone levels are largely inaccurate because hormones are dynamic and they fluctuate, right, from moment to moment. So it's more relevant to look at the common symptoms associated with the hormone imbalance. You can get the test, but remember also to pay attention to the symptoms. Now, as a reminder, let's look at the common symptoms to look out for. Hypo or hyperthyroidism, and give me 1 second here. And we also have someone joining us. Adrenal fatigue as well, difficulty losing weight, mood swings, trouble sleeping, infertility, poor memory, type 2 diabetes, and food cravings. All of these are reasons for us to note that there could be an unbalance in our estrogen levels. I think none of us can look at that list and say, not me. I think there's something in there, right, that is affecting us. I, for example, suffered sometime from adrenal fatigue, and I'll tell you a bit more about my testimony further on. And I've known women that have suffered from mood swings, but once they get their estrogen levels balanced, they see the difference. Now, here we have, I'm just going to make this window a bit shorter. Here we have our hero. We were talking that phytoestrogens are estrogens that are naturally found in plants. Now, this is dōTERRA's supplement, right? Now, the first thing we know about this supplement, it's adaptogenic. This means you don't have to know if you have a high or low level of estrogen or progesterone. It works either way. Woohoo! Yes, that is the wisdom that God's put into plants, that they adapt to your body's needs. Now, dōTERRA's phytoestrogen, it contains genistein, which is a fermented soy extract that promotes the healthy breast tissue, and it brings balance to hormones in both men and women. Yes, surprising. Men have hormones as well, so men can actually take this supplement, although the main market is for women. It will minimize symptoms. I've heard testimony after testimony, my own as well. My period pains were significantly reduced, even my breakouts on the skin, when I started to take this supplement. As we were saying, we don't know what the level of estrogen is in our body, but if we can identify some of the symptoms, then why not try it? We have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and it will promote healthy breast tissue. It also contains flaxseed extracts, which will reduce hormone metabolite load, and it offers a chemopreventative benefit. It has pomegranate extract that helps to manage the physical symptoms of menopause, including hot flushes and aging of the skin. On top of this, it can ease headaches. My mum has an amazing testimony. She's past the age of her menopause, and she was experiencing a lot of dryness, vaginal dryness, which happens from the lack of estrogen production once women stop their monthly cycle. She was amazed when she started to take the phytoestrogens for just 2 weeks. She said, I feel 10 years younger. She started to reproduce again. The moisture she needed in the vagina, obviously this is key when you're having intimacy, and she was completely amazed. So she was the first one actually to try the phytoestrogen, and I saw benefits. Again, I'm still obviously on my monthly cycle, but my benefits for me were the reduce of the period pains. So there's nothing to lose. Now, when we men might not believe this, but when they use the estrogen, they can use their own testosterone to keep a healthy balance, right? Which means that they can get rid of the xenoestrogens that they also are exposed to. Now, if you were to look up all the hormone disruptors that men can come in contact with, you would be surprised. Lots of things around construction, mechanics. They have a lot of chemicals which are hormone disruptors. So phytoestrogen can help men. And I once heard an article even of men who usually work on laptops. And where do you put your laptop? Well, you put it over your hips and also your genitals. And they did a research and found that men were producing less sperm because the radiation, the electric waves from the laptop were affecting their sperm production. So here you see that things that we think are so normal, right? When you're in your bed and you have to check something online, or even you're watching a film, that's usually where you put your laptop. So things like that you kind of think, well, I don't work in construction, or I'm not a mechanic, but you're exposed to estrogens, xenoestrogens that can be very harmful. Right. So we were saying low estrogen levels can also trigger rapid degeneration of the bones. So here you're noticing that the phytoestrogen has a little label at the top that says dōTERRA Women. As we know, men can use it, but there's a range called dōTERRA Women, and this is the second supplement. It's a bone nutrient. Why? Because once women go past their 30 age mark, they start to lose bone mass faster than men. faster than men. And this has to do with their hormone production. I'm currently taking this supplement because as I'm pregnant, women who are pregnant, their calcium production will go to the baby. And you find that many pregnant women end up with a lot of need for dental work after their pregnancy. So I'm taking the full dosage of this with my Lifelong Vitality Pack. And I can tell you now, 5 months into pregnancy, and I haven't had any toothache. I had my dental checkup and everything is great. So here we see bone nutrient is an amazing complement to the phytoestrogen. Now here, look what's on the slide. Phytoestrogen balances 3 to 4 hormones, but when combined with the bone nutrient, it balances 26 to 28. Wow. So it's a perfect match, phytoestrogen to bone nutrient. Now, in my case, I'm not taking phytoestrogen as I am pregnant, so I naturally will produce a higher level of estrogen. So that's just some advice for pregnant women. That's my personal decision, but you should also consult with your doctor. But if you're not pregnant, and especially if you are past the 30 age mark or you're into your menopause, what better thing than combining these two for an amazing effect in your body? Now, dōTERRA's bone nutrient is bioavailable, because you could say, well, I can get calcium. What's the difference? Well, for men and women, it's necessary for bone integrity, strength, and overall health. And it's also important for weak and fragile bones. If you've had a bone fracture, or you've done it in the past, definitely need to get some of this bone nutrient. Now, bioavailable means that the kind of calcium in this bone nutrient will be absorbed by your body quicker and will not accumulate in your extremities, because the most common type of calcium that is sold outside in the shops is a calcium that will accumulate in your extremities, in your elbows, and that can then lead to arthritis. So we have a testimony here. There is a device called iTovi, which reads your electromagnetic field, and it will recommend what product your body's needing. So someone once told us that they scanned during their hot flushes, and the iTovi, the device, kept saying, you need the bone nutrient, you need the bone nutrient. And she says when she went to the dentist, she had cavities because she was losing calcium in her bones because of menopause. So this device was picking it up, but here's the advice. So, be warned to start giving your body the calcium it needs. Here's the third product in this dōTERRA Women product range, which is Claricalm. Claricalm is the blend for hormone balance, and it's a blend of oils, the oils that we love. It contains clary sage, lavender, bergamot, Roman chamomile, cedarwood, what a long list, lang lang, geranium, fennel, carrot seed, palmarosa, and vitex. So they provide this respite from cramps, nausea, hot flushes, hairy periods, PMS, emotional swings. And you think, can an oil do that? Yes, we know that an oil will permeate the skin, will get to your cells in question of minutes. And I can give you here a key place to apply this oil is actually in the inside of your ankles. There we have the nervous endings to our female organs and to our hormones. So that's a key place, but you can also put it, when I was not pregnant, I would put it on my wrists, I would smell it, I would put it on my lower abdomen, and it helped me a lot. I've heard so many testimonies of people that kept saying, I can't believe it, this comes in a roll-on, just by rolling it on, and the hot flushes went, and the period cramps were decreased a lot. So clary sage helps to balance estrogen production in the body. So you can apply this daily on the abdomen to help with symptoms associated with PMS, menopause, heavy periods. And if you've heard about reflexology, as I said, you can put it to the inside of your ankles. Now let's look at rose. Some researchers have proposed that rose oil strengthens the uterus, potentially addressing menstrual cycle issues. Now, in menopause, rose oil may improve mood and reduce hot flushes by balancing hormones. We also have another list here. Rose is known as the queen of the oils. You can apply it over the heart for emotional balance. It promotes openness, confidence. It boosts libido. Try applying over the heart along the spine to the inner thighs. You can also apply it to your lower abdomen for relief from menstrual discomfort and to promote regular ovulation. So this oil is good for wives, right, to get their libido going, but also for increasing their fertility. You can even apply it to your brainstem here and inhale from your wrist to produce serotonin, which is one of the minerals in our body that we produce to relax and de-stress. It's a beautiful oil. It's very soft, lovely. And here we have the roll-on. We have two forms in dōTERRA, the pure oil, which is a 5 ml bottle, or we have also the roll-on, which you see here, which comes already as a touch oil. So it's already diluted with fractionated coconut oil. Now here we have Whisper. Now this is a wonderful blend for women. You won't believe what happens with this oil. When you apply this oil, it will create a unique personal fragrance that's combined with your chemistry. So if I apply the oil, it will smell differently than when you apply it, because the oil will interact with your own chemistry and create an individual fragrance. It's a kind of warming, musky aroma. It entices and intrigues the senses, so it's lovely to wear. I know Jodie loves to wear this as a perfume. You can apply it to your wrists, the back of your neck, pulse points for direct individual fragrance. Now, if you've watched Class 4, you know how toxic perfumes can be. So this is a great alternative. You can even put it on some clay pendants that act as diffusers. You can put a couple of drops on the palm of your hand, rub your hands, inhale. Why not add them to some clothes, like a scarf or coat, so that you surround yourself with the oil. It helps, as we see here on the slide, for endocrine support, balancing hormones as well. It's calming and it enhances femininity. All right. Let's have a look at Yarrow Palm. Yarrow Palm is a synergistic blend of yarrow essential oil in pomegranate seed oil, and it has amazing benefits. It will support immune system. I heard a testimony once of one of our members who had a high fever. Her husband had a high fever, and she applied Yarrow Palms to the sole of his feet, to the bottom of his feet, and was amazed how in question of a few minutes or hours, his fever came down. So it's great for immune system. It regulates inflammation in the body. It supports healthy hormones, skin and cardiovascular health. When you use it on your skin, you will increase the production of collagen. Now, collagen production will decrease as you age, and collagen is key for youthful looking skin. It's that jelly that helps our skin become elastic and avoid wrinkles. You can also, we have here 3 forms of the Yarrow Palm collection. The one on the right, which is the longest, the tallest bottle, is the Body Renewal Serum. It's 100 ml, and you can only use that topical. So that has a spray, as you can see, a spray top, and it's diluted. So you can use that all over your body. Then the bottle next to it, that is sealed and kind of looks like a big essential oil bottle, that's pure. You can actually take that internally. If you use it topically, I recommend that you dilute it. And the bottom is our capsules. So these are to take internally. So you can take them internally at night to help the skin renew. It will help to reduce the appearance of blemishes and to soothe tension. Now, here's a testimony from one of our wellness advocates. She said, about a week before I began menstruating, I typically get a little moody, and then I can be quick to anger. Plus, ever since having children, I have a heavy flow. However, after taking Yarrow Palm consistently, my moodiness is almost totally gone. My flow is so much lighter, which makes total sense because Yarrow Palm has been found to reverse premature menopause. There we go. Now, let's have a look at hormonal headaches. Don't know if you ever get these. You can try grapefruit and thyme on the roof of your mouth, or you can place lavender and frankincense on your temples. There's a key. You can take a quick photo of this slide. Now, you may have heard a lot about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I can't shout about it enough. Being pregnant, I can tell you, I have not vomited a single time in my first 3 months, and ever since. I'm now into my 5th month, and I've had a very strong immune system, and I thank the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And it can be no exception whether you're pregnant or you're not. You can check out our class number 2, week number 2, where we go much more into detail. But I just want to say here that the Lifelong Vitality Pack will help you in your hormone balance as well. You're getting the best of the best. You're getting a whole pack of vitamins that are bioavailable and extracted from food. They're food-based vitamins that cannot be found on the market. So we have a combination of antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and energy cofactors, all in these 3 bottles. Absolutely amazing. Now, here I'm going to give you your second word. Your second word for today is vitality. Vitality. Okay. Now we go back to these other symptoms that we have. We have hot flushes, night sweats, libido, hormonal migraines. Now, if you have any other symptoms that you suffer from or someone else does, please put them in the chat so that we can also give you solutions for those. Now, we have here another testimony. One of our wellness advocates told her mum, her mum was having 8 to 9 hot flushes a day. A Claricalm would stop them in their tracks. It wasn't but a few months later, she recommended that she try the Phytoestrogen. Give me a second, I need to, just got a bit of a runny nose. I'm just going to mute 1 second. Right, sorry about that. I got a bit of a reaction yesterday from walking in the park, and I'm using my lavender and peppermint, and it's done wonders for me. So just getting through that phase. Right, so back to the testimony. It says they were using Claricalm, it stopped their hot flushes, and now they recommended that they use Phytoestrogen. She did, and was floored that it prevented her hot flushes altogether from happening. So she was very happy with both products, is what she says. Another testimony we got was someone who said that her 74-year-old dad takes Phytoestrogen daily, and it stopped his night sweats in 3 days, and it also helped her in her sex life, as well as in addition to her dad's health. Someone else told us, I started having migraines with my monthly cycle. The LLV has, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, has balanced my hormones for a few years. But after 2 months in a row of flat in-bed migraines, I decided to give the Phytoestrogen a try. It had just come out to the market in that moment. In just a few minutes of taking 1 capsule, her migraine was gone. She took it 1 day after that, and then just 2 during her cycle. After being floked by medication, her body being thrown into autoimmune issues, wiping out her endocrine system, she increased it to 2 a day. And she's told us that it balances, well, as we know, it balances 3 to 4 hormones as taken by itself. If you combine it with the bone nutrient, it balances 26 to 28. So then she started to take the bone nutrient as well. And she said, I think it's helped the Phytoestrogen do its job even better. I can't live without these 2. I'm going through the menopause, no hot flushes at all. So it's awesome. I tell women that they don't have to go through that. So testimonies that fill us with encouragement. There is a solution to all these symptoms. Okay. Now, let's have a look into our endocrine system. Now, this is the system that works directly with our hormones. The endocrine system is a network of glands in your body that actually make the hormones, and it helps our cells to talk to each other. They're responsible for almost every cell, organ, and function in our body. So if your endocrine system isn't healthy, you might have problems developing during puberty, getting pregnant, or managing stress. 3 very important things. Now, I just want to say here, I've heard of mothers who have, well, I've had the experience of mothers coming up to me and telling me, my daughter is only 9, 10 years old and is already getting a heavy flow of her period. And I can testify to this, that once they've started to use the oils, and I'll tell you in a moment what they used, they started to see an amazing improvement. So it's true that even for puberty, in the teenage age, and even getting pregnant and managing stress, the endocrine system is key. Now, you may also gain weight easily because of an imbalance in your endocrine system. You may have weak bones, lack energy because of too much sugar staying in your blood instead of moving into your cells where it's needed for energy. Now, because it does directly affect your growth and development, your metabolism, your nutrient regulation, as you see there on the slide, your overall homeostasis, we can look to essential oils, which can prove to be very, very beneficial. So there was just a little sound there, but I think we're doing fine. Yes, we're doing fine. We're still recording. Okay, get back to our slides. Just wanted to check everything was doing well. So now we know essential oils can be very beneficial. They will circulate to all the cells of your body. And that's how we start to see how they make a difference. So I'm going to give you some tips of caring for your endocrine system. Now, you can download them on they'll be on the handout that we'll give at the end of this class. The first is our liver. How to care for your liver. Now, drink water with lemon or Slim and Sassy, also known as Smart and Sassy. Now, our liver is underpinning our hormone balance, and we have to support our liver. So drinking a lot of water is one thing, or our star mixed, our detox mix, which is Endocrine. This was the product that I used for this girl who had reached her puberty too early, and they were going to give her hormones. And she was amazed when she used this oil, but she started to detox and how it helped her. So Endocrine is great to keep your liver in healthy condition and support it. Now let's see your pancreas. Now, Slim and Sassy soft gels, they're not always available in every market, but it's literally just one version of the Slim and Sassy oil. And you can take those daily. They help you with your metabolism. They regulate your blood sugar. Pancreas has to work harder when you have an increased sugar level in your blood. And they help to release excess water. Now we have our adrenals. Now, adrenals are, I think, secret heroes. I didn't know that my adrenals were suffering until I started to get a faint pain just above my kidneys. That's where your adrenals are. And how do we know that our adrenals are affected? Because we suffer from fatigue, foggy brain, anxiousness, sleepiness, or we keep feeling sluggish. Now, when our bodies are feeling like this, what do we need? Here we have magnolia. This was and Mito2 Max, they were my great helpers to get my adrenals back on track. There you see the kidneys, and there you see the orange kind of little balloons on top of your kidneys. Those are your adrenals. And when you're stressed, your adrenals have to work harder. So if you're constantly under stress, your adrenals start to get adrenal fatigue. So here's how you can take care of them. Here we have the reflexology point on the bottom of our feet that corresponds to our adrenal glands. So make sure that you roll on the magnolia oil to that area, and you can actually use magnolia to roll on the area. So that's what I would do. I would get the roll on and roll it just kind of higher, just a bit higher than my waist, and calculate all that area. And I just with my hand reach to the back of my back and put it there. And then I would be smelling it all the time. It's beautiful. I would use it as a perfume. I love the smell of magnolia. And then I would use Mita 2 Max as well. Mita 2 Max helps to give you energy and stamina. It doesn't have caffeine in it, and it's a supplement. So I would take 2 of those a day. Now, here's something that you can do to care for your adrenal glands. Now, here's another recipe. Apply a magnolia twice to your back, as I say, just over the kidneys, or you can do it to the reflex point on your feet. Now, the extracts of magnolia essential oils are from plants found in China. There's an interesting fact about the flower. It blossoms, but it must be picked early in the morning or late in the afternoon so that the oil can be available. And there are more than 200 varieties of magnolia, and they can grow up to 100 feet tall. There's something probably you didn't know. So in order to safely pick the blossoms, the farmers in China have to grow the trees in large wood or cement containers, replant them in a way that allows the plant to grow outward. And using that method, the magnolia trees can grow only up to 6 feet. So magnolia, being high in linalool, is a valuable tool for supporting sleep and even your prayer time. So it's great for calming fear, inspiring faith, and it really helps your nervous system and your adrenals. Here we have the Mita 2 Max. As I say, you can take 2 capsules. You can take those twice if you need to in the day. I recommend taking it early in the morning. You don't want to take that in the evening because it will give you energy, as it says here, mental energy, focus. Now, I would recommend, even if you don't suffer from your adrenal glands, take Mita 2 Max. If you have long working hours, I take it if I know that I had little sleep the day before, and it will help you with energy. Now, remember that Mita 2 Max is not a stimulant. Its main component is ashwagandha, which is an adaptogenic herb that can help support your endocrine system, specifically those adrenal glands we were talking about. So if you're wanting to stay settled, focused, stay away from caffeine, because caffeine is a stimulant. And what does it do? It creates peaks and troughs in your adrenal system. So it pokes your adrenals and tells them to get into gear, and then the effect of the caffeine goes, so they end up more fatigued. Whereas Mita 2 Max will support the mitochondria, which is the part of the cell, which are the engines of our cell. They create our energy. So we're supporting our cells directly. That's how Mita 2 Max works. So we get very close to living and breathing as we were intended to do. No more stimulants, and our body is working as it should. Now remember, Mita 2 Max is one of those products that you can add to the Lifelong Vitality Pack and get nearly 50% off. Isn't that great? So you save money too. Now, another key part of our endocrine system, we've been doing one by one here. We look up to the top, there is our thyroid. It's very important to take care of your thyroid. Now, check your nutrition, check your stress levels as well, and your water supply. If you don't drink water, you will be affecting your thyroid. Now, when you're taking water, make sure you put some oils in there. Now, here we have a 10 ml roller blend recipe. 10 drops of clove, myrrh, frankincense, and lemongrass, 10 drops of each. Put that in a 10 ml roller bottle, top the rest with fractionated coconut oil, and you literally apply that on your neck in the area of the thyroid 3 times a day. Now, this recipe works. One friend of mine, she went through, she had hydrocephalia, which is liquid in your brain. She went through about 20 surgeries. And the consequence of so much medication from recovering from her surgeries started to affect her thyroid. She gained about 10 kilos in weight because our thyroid also controls our weight and our body temperature. And so I gave her this recipe. She began to roll on put this roll on 3 times a day and was amazed. After a few months, she went for her checkup and her doctor said, you don't need any medication. Your thyroid is perfectly fine. And then she was able to lose that extra weight. So amazing, amazing testimonies. This works. Here we have another testimony. Phytoestrogen has been amazing for my skin. I suffered from embarrassing cystic acne for years. I started taking phytoestrogen a little over 2 years ago, and my skin cleared up completely within 2 months. Amazing. Now, another testimonial here on other things. One lady said, doctors wanted to do hysterectomy or ablation, but I never had peace about that. I started phytoestrogen about 3 years ago. Just a few months after beginning it, the LLV and the Claricalm, doing that morning and night, I began to have 0 cramping, normal flow, and no indication that I was even starting to have my period, and 0 PMS. Prior to Phyto, I could feel it coming on about a week in advance. I had mild cramping and pain, and so would the PMS start. So I take 1 phytoestrogen a day, and now I only use Claricalm for support during my period, but for about a year, I used it morning and night. Now, another lady said, my 17-year-old daughter had horrible pain, heavy flow. The whole street knew the week that she was on her cycle. She would miss 2 to 3 days of school each month because of it. After using phytoestrogens, her exact words were, Mum, it helped everything except for the sugar cravings in just 1 month. She has had better cycles ever since, and that was 4 years ago. So now her second daughter, 16-year-old daughter, takes those as well. Right, so coming now to nearly the end of our class today, there is a Symphony of the Cells protocol specifically for hormone balance, and it can be helpful for anything related to hormones like PMS, hot flushes, and even more complex conditions. So don't worry about looking for it. You'll find it on the downloadable handout. You can see there the oils recommended, some of which we've already mentioned, and where to apply them. Now, from the products you've heard of today, did you perhaps hear of some new ones? Do you want to try? I'm sure you know about the loyalty rewards program, but I'm just going to go through it one more time. It's a monthly wellness box, and I've been on the loyalty rewards program, wow, for more than 2 years now. And I'm at that 30% free product credit level. So you want to make sure that you order your products through this system because it will save you money in addition to your 25% discount that you get from your membership, because you get up to between 10, you start at 10%, and you gradually, as you do your monthly orders, get up to 30% off your purchase in free product points. Those rewards can be cashed in for more dōTERRA products. So I get my more expensive oils with points. So I don't have to pay for them. And additional to that, you can get a free oil of the month every month. If you do your order before the 15th and you do your order of 125 PV, you can also earn 100% back of your shipping costs in product points. So it really is a win-win. Now, what would a customized wellness box look like after today's class? Well, here we have, these prices are not updated. They are a bit old, but they're round about, I think, probably $5 difference if you get this women's health kit. Now, just a little tip here. Every time you see the word kit in dōTERRA's website for anything, it will save you money compared to buying the products by themselves. So dōTERRA is always looking for opportunities to save us money. Here they've bulked up 3 products together, the Phytoestrogen, the Bone Nutrient, and the Claricalm into a convenient kit. And if you add to that the Rose Touch, then your order will surpass the 125 PV level so that you get your free oil of the month if you complete it by the 15th, and you get free product credits as well. Oh, there's other choices here on the margin: Whisper Blend, Magnolia, anything, excuse me, any of the products we've mentioned. Now, if you need a refresher of how to set it up, here is some screenshots, but we do have also a 3-minute video on the resource page that will show you how to do it. My tip, speak to your wellness advocate, and we will gladly do it with you step by step. Okay, so next week you can start to watch the recordings of our series, because today was our last one. Oh, today was the hormone balance. We will have a bonus session. We will let you know probably in 2 weeks, a bonus session. I won't say on what it's about, but it will be great. So your final word today is health. Health. That is what we want you to achieve, health. All right. Now, to access the resources of today's lesson, make sure you take a photo of this slide. Here are the URLs. Here's the password. You can access handouts, links to resources, links to a replay of this lesson by our American counterparts as well. So, with no more to add, I'm going to stop our recording here. It's been a pleasure to teach you all, and we are here to support you in your essential oil journey.